All right. Real quick, let me switch to the race layout. Right. Welcome, Speedgaming. This is the SGLIVE 2023 Super Metroid Randomizer Tournament. This is the first round between Osse and Maisgueuh. My name is Eddie. Join with me on comms is Nitro. Nitro, how you doing?
How you doing? I'm doing good.
Yeah, pretty excited for this match. Maisgueuh, very strong player. I think honestly, coming in at the 32 seed, but having only done, I think, 2 qualifiers makes Maisgueuh's skill a little bit deceptive, because you can just play a 3rd qualifier to improve your ranking, but I guess maybe lack of time or something else chose not to. So I think Maisgueuh is probably a little bit underranked here a little bit. Now, that being said, even though everyone that's in this tournament is going to be a strong player, make no mistake, this is a hard mode to even complete a seed. But the problem is the uphill battle against Osse. Osse's quite the strong player coming in as the 1st seed. I'm not sure you have any words about Osse.
He's okay.
Yeah,
I've heard some good things about him, you could say.
Yeah. Osse has accomplished a lot in the rando scene. I think pretty much is kind of so good at rando that almost kind of like didn't feel challenged by normal rand anymore, and went on to go create and develop his own map rando. So I think he's been busy with that. I don't know how much area that he's been playing of this mode. So though he's still coming in as the 1st seed, he might be a little bit rusty still, because I know this hasn't been his primary focus for a while, but decided to join the tournament to kind of just participate. But yeah, this is going to be exciting. It is still rando. It's area rando. Anything can happen. So you never really know. But this is definitely going to be probably in favor of Osse here. All right. So Nitro, given that this mode is major, minor, area rando, and boss rando, can you kind of give us a little synopsis or a little kind of template that maybe these players will do at the start of the game, like kind of what your general approach is at the start?
Yeah, so in all these seeds, they'll start in, as is all vanilla start, you'll go down, you'll get your morph, and then what you really want to see is your early minors are important. If you get your power bombs, you can check the meme route portal, which is, of course, the more knowledge you can get early on, the better off you can, make your general game plan and your route to the seed. But of course, they have the same seed, so they'll just have to deal with whatever cards are played, pretty much.
Yep. Yeah, I think one of the big key things is kind of like if you can find supers, and if you can find power bombs. So with that, it looks like our runners are off. But yeah, a big thing about area rando, as you can see, there's a bunch of different portals that connect to different areas. The meme route portal, where if you find early power bombs, you pretty much always want to check that portal right away, because in area rando, sometimes it's okay to leave the portals in like pairs. So the left side of criteria, the right side of criteria, that can often be okay to kind of leave them, because you might find it later and come back. But isolated portals, especially one that's so far down criteria and hard to get to, you really need to find what that is early on, because if it's something like a Turian, what ends up happening is if you don't know that right now, you might end up scouring the entire map to find Turian, and then that might be the last thing you check, and then if someone has already known that, you might just lose. So if that ends up being like a dead end early, like Kraid is something that's required, you really, really, really want to know that.
And it can create some interesting situations in seeds where you don't have power bombs early on, and you have to find a way to either hope you just find this portal later, or somehow have to contend with the unknown of something is down there, you don't know what it is, and you probably don't want to go back there, because it is a long commitment of a check to go all the way back down to meme route just for one portal.
Yeah, so you absolutely can isolate it, but I think the general meta, so to say, in high level play is to probably just check it no matter what. Now, that being said, both of these players don't have to do any deboost to get this. Well, they do have to do the deboost to get the ceiling, but not to get morph, because they already have that. But here we go. It's just a reserve. Still want these early, because at the beginning of the game, you really are trying to pick up all the ammo and all the E-tanks and health you can get, because you might be required to do hell runs. Now, this is what we call a bad seed. Not for Nitro. Nitro apparently loves these seeds. But
it's a half okay seed.
Okay seed, yeah. But no power bombs early, so we're going to have to isolate this meme route portal. And we're going to be heading up, and as of right now, because we have no way to break the blocks on left criteria, until we get some solution, screw attack, power bomb, something like that, we're currently forced to go right of criteria past the ship. But, you know, that can change, obviously, if we find some power bombs. We also have to skip this pit room check because we don't have any explosives or screw attack either. Or speed, technically.
Ideally, we do want to see one of those explosives at BT, but if not, then we are forced into linearity here. They'll just have to keep going the same way until the seed offers something up for them.
All right, so once again, we can't check 230 on the left or anything like that. We're just going to go straight to BT here. We can't even go left of criteria as of right now because we have no explosives. So here we go. Both players, playing pretty darn well right now.
Yeah, still pretty close up to climbing parlor, which is always good to see.
Yeah, Maisgueuh keeping up with Osse early on. Osse is a very, very strong runner. So Maisgueuh absolutely with pretty darn clean movement. Making it through. And okay, we're going right.
Yep.
We're going right.
No choices yet.
Exactly. So not only are we going right, we actually have to isolate the moat portal because you do need power bombs to get into that moat portal. So literally the only option we have right now is to go to the crab shaft underneath moat.
There is the option. Some people will choose to take a ship save here. One good thing about that is you do fill up your reserve. That might not be all the way full by now. It could be from pirates, but not always. And safety save is always just good to have because you don't know what it's going to spit you into. And Maisgueuh is going to skip the save, so we'll take the lead for now.
Interesting. I would have kind of thought if this was to be flipped around, I was kind of thinking maybe Maisgueuh would take the save and Osse might not. Ooh, using that super on the wall, that might not be good because the supers give you a lot of... you might have to use the supers to start opening stuff in red tower, so you don't really want to waste them right now. So let's see where this leads. This could also just be like West Meridian, you have to fall down the hole, but alright, we got Green
Bryn. So that's good. So you probably should just go ahead and check the portal down here first.
Yes.
There is an argument to be made not to, but it's usually good practice to just get the portal out of the way.
Yep. Oh, Maisgueuh's not going to check that portal.
Yeah, going straight into Green Bryn, that's okay. In this situation where you don't have power bombs, there's a decent chance that you have to go up to the top of Green Bryn anyway to find your first power bombs, which is why it might not necessarily be the worst to skip that bottom portal for now, since you're a bit more likely to want to come back down this way anyway.
Yep. So interesting. I just saw Maisgueuh.
But there are power bombs there.
Yeah, okay, there's power bombs here. I saw Maisgueuh pick those missiles up. Wondering if he goes back and picks those missiles up. You do want to collect as much ammo as you can early on. Sometimes you get into a situation where you're gonna have to fight Ridley, or you're gonna need those, or you're gonna need other things to basically just use ammo for. So, first thing we're gonna check. Maisgueuh's farming up here.
Yeah, with only 2 supers, he'd need. You likely use 1 on the side hoppers and then only have 1 shot at the gate glitch.
Yes.
Which may not be the most comfortable with, so just wants to farm. Unfortunately, not getting the luckiest here, but did get 1 more.
High jump. All right, so Maisgueuh is just going to spam missiles there because you kind of need... Oh, is that... This setup looks a little sketchy. Did Maisgueuh get that? All right, Maisgueuh got the door open, so here we go. Maisgueuh's going to get the high jump. Both players basically doing the same thing right now. So let's see. Is Osse going to go and grab... Yes, going to go grab the charge item, which is another major. So we'll see what this is.
Also interesting that Osse did also skip the bottom Green Bryn portal.
Yeah, I find that
might
kind
not
of
have expected.
Yeah, exactly. I generally check that because kind of what... as we're talking about, isolating these portals can be really, really bad. I usually just like checking the bottom portal, and with the intention that, like, I'm going to take probably the portal at the top when I go up the elevator. I'm ideally not backtracking to the bottom portal. So I'd rather just take the bottom portal and likely try to go out the top and then not have to worry about what might be at the bottom portal later if I want to go out the top in the first place. So interestingly enough, both players isolating these.
Yes, it might not end up being the worst thing because you could sort of try to keep that portal with the moat portal so that if you find either of those later, then you can get the other one. Because at this point they're not that far away, and so like that could be good if they can find either of them later. Ooh, plasma. That's very nice early on.
That is nice. Yeah, good insight, Nitro. Nitro, our resident 250 game race time player. Most race time races played for Super Metroid. Good to have your insight.
Correct. I've played a little too much.
But yeah, as Nitro was saying, one of the things we're saying is we don't like isolating portals. But however, since they isolated the moat portal, and the moat portal is just close to the green Brinstar portal, in that sense, you're not really isolating it so much. Because if you find one later, it could be disastrous if it was like Kraid plus Turian or something.
Yes.
But more than likely, you know, you go to Red Tower, you find bottom of Green Bryn, then you can just go check the moat portal right there, and then you have the answers for those right away.
Yeah, they're still not the closest, but it's not the worst that could happen. Yeah.
So far, both players basically doing the same thing, but Osse taking a little bit of a lead, mainly due to the super missile farm that Maisgueuh had to do earlier. But here we go. I didn't see what that was. Was it just an E-tank?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. All right. So I did wonder why Maisgueuh earlier kind of skipped that missile pack earlier, but it seems like Maisgueuh picked it up on the way back down from grabbing those power bombs. So here we go. Oh, Maisgueuh missing that walk, but getting the backup. Nice. Using the super there on that, it is faster, but Maisgueuh's super count is a little bit low.
You will get another pack here, and
another
third pack at early supers.
So it should be fine. But
should be okay.
Yeah, there is something to be said about. I mean, obviously, if you know you have like 10, you're gonna get 10 supers, and it's fine. But there is something to be said about thinking about conserving your supers, because you can get to a situation where you have to fight Ridley later with maybe like 25 supers, 30 missiles or something like that. And sometimes there's no good way to farm for the fight, depending on where you are, unless you go to Upper Norfair or something like that. But
yeah,
that's all just being a little nitpicky. Osse's heading up the Green Bryn elevator. Did Osse take a save a little bit ago? Did I see that?
He might have. I also missed it as well, but he definitely could have. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Ooh.
Okay, but left.
Okay, he will go check Terminator, which is definitely good to do here.
Yeah, there is something to be said.
I think when you already have BT, it's okay to just do this first.
Yes. There is something to be said about saving in Green Bryn before heading up, because sometimes you get into a situation where you're in West Meridia at the top, and falling down West Meridia can be in logic, but it could also lead to a soft lock. So you get into a very awkward situation sometimes where it's like, oh, I kind of might have to fall down, but I don't also want to just automatically lose. Maisgueuh not getting the extra major at the top, that is something that's easy to forget. But it's, as of right now, it's not a big deal. But yeah, both of them are lined up, checking the same portal over here, and it's Red Tower.
All right, Maisgueuh going back to Business Center while Osse continues the portal checks.
I like Maisgueuh's play here. I think Zeb was touching on this on the previous one, but Business Center, I feel like you don't think of Upper Norfair as like all of Upper Norfair. Osse finding Rick's ship. I think it's better to think of Business Center as its own isolated area, and you just do these left checks as you do it, as you can find it, because you don't have very oftentimes the left side of Business Center or the left side of Upper Norfair is just its own check with 2 majors. But Osse skipping the Business Center check, finding the Rex portal and heading up this.
Aggressive from Osse, assuming he doesn't go back to it, which he probably will. Ooh.
Yes. Oh, Croc. Oh, Osse's thinking about it.
Croc. Yeah.
Okay. You can see Osse hesitating there. I think he wasn't 100% sure what he wanted to do there.
Especially with you still have Business Center you could go to, but I mean this Croc is definitely a good Croc to do here.
Yes, and it is in logic.
Yes,
because
of
the high jump boots. Meanwhile, Maisgueuh finishing up the Business Center, I think just picked up
Wave. It looks like he got Wave, yes.
Yeah, he's going to save and go ahead and do the ice which is in logic right now with the amount of E-tanks. Oh, this is a little spooky.
Ooh,
Oh, speed booster.
That's huge.
Wow.
Pretty big find.
Yeah, Osse with the plot armor, apparently. Instantly finding speed. Great item. But, you know, honestly, decent chance that Maisgueuh ends up finding it as well soon enough.
Yeah. So, an interesting play you could make here, which I doubt Osse will do. I mean, you definitely could, is you still have that bottom green Bryn portal outstanding, and you now have waterway access,
Yes.
and you're not that far from Green Bryn at this point. You could reasonably go back, do waterway, and then try to follow out that portal.
Mm-hmm.
But I would consider that more of a play you would make.
Yeah, that's not a bad play.
You still have Red
either.
Tower here. It's definitely something you could do, though.
Yeah, because as of right now, Osse has the bottom. Red Tower is another one. If you're kind of like learning how to play rando, it's kind of important to like, how do you divvy up these things? It's not like you find Red Tower and you necessarily, I have to check every single portal at Red Tower. Oftentimes you kind of think of them as segments, right? So Red Tower, like Osse could leave the X-ray check and go ahead and just kind of abandon, not necessarily like abandon fully, but leave the top and middle, with the idea being that, you know, Osse finds a way to Upper Norfair later on, maybe finds a way back into Red Tower, then can check the portals right there. But as you said, Osse could just go back, check the waterway check, which they had to leave earlier, and then go back and check the portal and the bottom portal, which are currently a little bit isolated.
Yeah.
And this is not a bad time to check it right now either. So
there is also the front of wreck ship we found to contend with, if you do or don't want to do that. And we have high jump boots too, which makes the back potentially, well, it is in logic, could be potentially where the seed wants you to go.
Front of red ship. Front of wreck ship sucks.
Yeah, running wreck ship early is you really don't want to have.
One of the big problems with wreck ship in boss rando is that you're not guaranteed to be able to do anything other than check the boss. So it can be like a colossal waste of time if, you know, Maisgueuh not going to get his speed there. Kind of unfortunate, but backing out of Croc. But yeah, like the problem with front of wreck ship in boss rando and area is that you can't actually do anything except check the boss and then maybe go out the back if you have the, you know, if you have high jump or grab or something like that. So it can just be kind of like really bad, especially if you run into Ridley and you can't finish it. Then you're just, you get the Ridley information, but it's bad.
It's good
you wasted a lot of time.
Just a huge time loss as well.
Yep.
Like usually 2 minutes, sometimes even more, depending on, you know, how long it takes to get to the reset point.
Yep. I think Osse's going to go for your play here.
Yeah, he does still have Business Center. He'll probably do Business Center along the way, if I had to guess.
Yeah, especially makes sense for Osse then. Yeah, so
then he can choose to go into wreck ship or
wait. Osse has speed, so Osse can go to the right side.
He could do
as
Bubble
well.
Mountain too. Yeah, he's got plenty of tanks now as well.
Yep,
That's probably more like what he's thinking, if I had to guess.
Yep. Okay, and here we have Maisgueuh choosing not to do any sort of X-ray D boost to get those items, so isolating that as well, that major. And there is right there, middle of Osse checking the middle. Yep, right. There's new bridge.
Interesting.
You know, what kind of sucks is Maisgueuh doesn't have the speed, so there's not really incentive to go check waterway. And now Maisgueuh is kind of like fully isolating that criteria portal. So whereas Osse might find a way or a reason to go back there, Maisgueuh might not be going back there anytime soon. So if that's something like Kraid, that could potentially be really bad.
That is a tough spot for that portal, assuming Osse gets to it the same way going up Red Tower. Because then at that point you're thinking, well, I could go to Waterway and Moat, but I also have the 2 portals just at the top of Red Tower here to go to. I didn't catch what that portal was. That
was the Croc entry portal at Upper Norfair.
Okay. Well, so we'll see what Osse does, because there's decisions to be made about when you're doing Upper Norfair like this, if you check the portals first, or if you go straight to Bull Mountain for the items.
Yep.
Before the portals.
So we got Kraid's lair at the top of Red Tower.
Ooh.
One of the dead ends. So right now we have.
Okay.
Oh,
Maisgueuh has
backing
0
out
power
here.
bombs though.
Oh no, that's okay. So
Yeah.
Maisgueuh wanted to do that, but I had to farm some of the
it's risky.
caterpillars. That's the problem with these rando seeds. You really have to manage your power bombs. So whenever you get to these points, like you see fire fleas, you see these caterpillars, you see the bee toms, you kind of really want to make sure you top off because these are such fast ways to get power bombs, especially when you only have 5, because you can get into a really sketchy situation. Maisgueuh also going to go check these miners. Yes.
Yeah, it is so easy to mismanage your power bombs when you only have 1 pack.
Mm-hmm. Okay, a super missile from
Super
Maisgueuh.
here is good. That puts him to 25-30, which still not enough energy for Ridley, but it's getting closer at least.
Yeah, I would have grabbed those missiles for Maisgueuh.
Yeah, I definitely want to grab those missiles.
Yeah, the problem is you can't just rely on finding charge. I mean, it's something you can do, but really picking up all the ammo you can get, just because you know, charge is a check tool. Charge is somewhere like really bad that you're never going. You need to start picking up ammo, and you need to kind of like commit to that. If it's like something like Chozo where there's limited locations, maybe it's a little bit like you could consider doing something like that, but you kind of really need to, I think, pick up the ammo, especially because it's very likely you might have to just do an ammo finish at the end of the game.
Yes, and very heads up, very smart by Maisgueuh to save in Red Tower instead of going to the crate save. Will save a bit of time in the case that it is a boss he can't kill here, which is still essentially 50-50 at this point, because Ridley is really not doable.
Yep. Oh, Osse's health is going to be a little sketchy here. Gonna have to dive in the lava first.
Power bomb too.
He wants a power pack, but it
really
requires him diving into the lava.
Yeah.
Okay, so Maisgueuh finding Kraid's Lair here, it's good information, but it kind of sucks.
It's pretty likely to be a time sink here.
Exactly.
Unless it is.
He can't do 2 bosses at the moment. So this is like pretty bad if it's not exactly 2 of the bosses that he wants to see, which is Phantom
Phantoon.
There you go.
That's good. That is very good overall, having not gone into Rake Ship yet.
Yes. Now, obviously, there's some disastrous things that can happen. Osse might find Kraid at some point, come back here, and there's a crucial item at Kraid's closet. Because Maisgueuh has a good chance of not coming back here for a while, so that major is effectively abandoned for now. But I think Osse's decision making here is just a little bit more easy, I guess you could say. Maisgueuh is kind of having to do this stuff that's like, oh, it feels pretty bad. Like having to check this boss feels pretty bad. Whereas Osse is, you know, decision making as of right now is not too difficult. It's just, you know, clear out these majors, see what I can get, and then check the portals.
Yeah, and Osse did find a 3rd PvP pack, which does give him Crystal Flash ammo, which will make this Bubble Mountain a good bit safer and likely faster and more doable, especially if he needs it to get out of here.
Yes. So hell running in general is usually pretty darn slow. So getting really good at knowing how to be efficient with your hell runs is definitely one of those things that would be is like a mark of a good player and will save you an incredible amount of time. So one of the things that Osse could consider doing here is, instead of going back to the speed booster check to maybe farm up, might just go and use one of the power bombs to I was gonna say Crystal Flash and break the blocks to the right to check that portal. But Osse going ahead and check this. It's just gonna be a little thorough. Check the speed booster major and farm up probably on the way out.
Okay, it's pretty likely, I think, for that portal to be West Meridian now.
That
good.
That little X-ray.
Yeah, that was that could have been real bad. Real fast.
Osse's really not gonna want to do that randomly on the way back out. Oh, that was an expert dodge from Osse right there. There's no way I would have dodged that. I would have.
I was hitting that so bad.
That's maybe the most impressive thing I've ever seen. I'm like actually a Spazer magnet. I don't know if it's just the fact that I run new routes so much, but I can't stop myself from grabbing a Spazer by accident. I always get mad.
Yeah, especially there. You faceplant that item no matter what.
Yep. All right, so Maisgueuh heading back to the croc portal is going to run straight to the right.
This is good from Maisgueuh, having already done Business Center, It does let him get to Bubble Mountain a little bit faster. Oh, getting the refill, of course.
Yes.
You know,
Interestingly,
it's not impossible to get to this portal with this amount of health, but I don't blame anybody for.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty bad one to go through the lava when you have all that. I remember you and I were testing that out, or you were testing it for me because I was asking like how much health does it take to get across the spikes. So honestly, checking this upper Norfair portal. You know, interestingly enough, if Maisgueuh did want to go back to the business center area, he does have plasma wave, and that does let him get through. He can glitch through the blocks. I think we saw Zos do that. Turian at the single chamber portal. Okay.
Okay, that's a good find.
And that's a reset for Osse. Okay, so that makes sense. So at this point, we have all the dead ends. We found Croc.
That's right.
We found Kraid. And we found Turian.
Yeah, we still have no Lower Norfair or East Meridia yet, as far as I recall.
So I wonder if this could be one of those nasty,
long chain involved.
Yeah, one of those nasty seeds where you get a big chain of like all the boss rooms connected. That can be kind of disastrous sometimes. There's something to be said about Maisgueuh having done wreck ship at this point. Or sorry, having done Fantoon.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Let's see where this portal goes to.
Careful, Maisgueuh. I assume he probably just saved. I think he will get a third power one pack here. So can Crystal Flash? Ooh, doesn't chase. I've often done that, or unless he got it first and I wasn't paying attention. That was the second. That's probably more likely.
Yeah. So Maisgueuh not grabbing that power bomb pack because I think he was basically thinking he might die there.
Oh no, that would have been his third. That's right, because he got the one at Kraid.
Yeah, so
he does make it out, so all's well.
Yeah, it's a little sketchy, the health.
Definitely unfortunate he couldn't get it.
Doesn't want to take too much random damage here because he's gonna have to figure out a way to farm back up.
This wasn't the power bomb, was it? No, it was.
Oh, this was okay.
So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Don't want to take a spike hit here though. That would be pretty bad.
Okay, so you know, this is going to work out really nicely for Osse because Osse has not seen this Croc portal yet, and as we were talking about, is going to spit him out at the top of Red Tower, so he gets to finish off the Red Tower checks.
Yes, and he will likely kill Fantoon as well.
Yes, so I think what'll probably happen here is after killing Fantoon, because Osse is going to probably check the boss, he's going to get spat out at the Green Brinstar bottom portal because he hasn't checked the middle yet. Potentially he might also do X-ray in the process of that. And then I think he's going to do what you were talking about earlier, Nitro. I think he's going to check the...
Maybe.
Yes, he might check the speed booster item and then maybe check that right criteria portal.
He might. I'm not so sure, to be honest. I think now that you have all the dead ends, you could realistically continue to abandon Moat for now.
Yes.
And you might want to prioritize just going into wreck ship.
Wreck ship. Yes, you're right. You're right. I did forget that we have all the port. That's one of the big things in area that it's kind of one of the things that you're always keeping in mind. Once you find all the dead ends, aka Croc, Turian, and Kraid, then you want to be very aggressive about just finding the bosses and not being too worried, because one of the issues with the dead ends is you can just lose a ridiculous amount of time. But once you have all the dead ends found, you're a lot more incentivized to just kind of go ham on the portals and just find the boss locations, because you're not worried about like going through Lower Norfair and then like, oh shoot, do I follow through the back? Do I follow through the front? Because if it's a dead end at there, then it's a horrible time loss. But now that that's not happening, we always know that they're always going to lead to somewhere. Right. You're not worried about that situation anymore. So now you can be very aggressive with kind of portal hunting at this point, because you know that it's probably going to spit you out somewhere that's fine. Yeah.
In a way, there is still meme route outstanding as well, which would be bad if that's like Moat or something and someone goes to check that, then that would become a bad check.
Yes.
That won't necessarily happen. It's definitely more likely to lead to a boss area at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how the route takes them. I think it's probably ultimately more... Ooh, it actually is a little sketchy, because what you'll probably want to do is go to wreck ship and then leave out the back, but that back could be meme route, which would be unfortunate. It'd be okay because you would just go up and then go to mode at that point, and it would have to take you somewhere. But it's definitely not ideal.
Also, getting hit with the rare mid there.
Sick.
So one of the issues, also to keep in mind, where I think Osse may be incentivized to just go and check the waterway major is they still don't have any suits. Yeah. So Osse does have high jump spring ball.
Pretty close to epic suitless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Epic true suitless.
Yeah. So
you definitely would like some more stuff.
Yeah. The problem is like this is not really good enough.
No, like a low Norfair, especially Vanilla Ridley, it's definitely not doable.
Yeah. If you knew it wasn't Vanilla Ridley, then can you do it with like 25 power bombs? It's.
You'd really want more supers at this point, like a lot more.
Yeah, I guess I'm just thinking
Osse is also a god gamer. We have to keep in mind.
One of the top RBO runners.
Done some pretty ridiculous LN hell runs that I could definitely never dream of doing.
Maisgueuh once again not having speed. Oh, Maisgueuh! Oh, that's a soft lock.
No, yes, that.
It's okay. Maisgueuh has a save, but yeah.
Did he save just before that, or was this before single chamber?
I don't know. I know he's in Bubble Mountain though, but that he just stopped moving, which is really bad. Okay, so Osse's thinking. I think he's thinking about either the waterway or the abandoned portal, and it looks like he is going to go to wreck ship, as you said.
Yes.
Now,
waterway is tempting. I think this makes the most sense. Yeah.
No,
you have extra as well. He could still go back.
He may be doing this. Yeah, he may just be doing this.
He could still go back.
This is cool. Okay, so Osse go ahead and saying screw doing any sort of fancy deboost. I'm just gonna fly across with my speed and high jump. Yeah. So there's still a possibility that Osse's just going to do this check.
The deboost, sick.
Oh no, Maisgueuh once again soft lock. So all you have to do there is just hold left and angle shot. Once you start moving, you just can't stop moving. And the moment
I like to just keep mashing the whole time until I'm all the way through.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what's going on here. Maybe Maisgueuh's controller's like losing inputs or something like that. But if you stop moving, then you're stuck. That's the issue. So
yeah.
Luckily, the save is like right here, so it's not really that big of a loss. The most devastating thing is if you just like don't have a save and then you get soft lock there and it's just over. So let's see if Maisgueuh can get through this, and then let's see what Osse does.
Okay, I see the issue. If you can't start shooting too early. You can't start shooting until you hit the blocks. He's starting to shoot before he reaches the blocks, which will also cause you to soft lock because
Maisgueuh has to. Oh, hopefully Maisgueuh realizes that.
I don't know if he knows that though, which is pretty unfortunate here.
I see. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Maisgueuh is. Usually you just want to run up to the block. You don't shoot. You run up to the blocks and then you start shooting, spam shooting, and then you're breaking like these PLM blocks, just super Metroid science.
Yeah.
And then it glitches the game out and you can just run through all the things. Now it looks like Maisgueuh's breaking them a little bit early. You kind of want them to break at a specific time, so that's why you run up to the blocks and then start spamming shooting.
Let's try again. Alternatively, he could. Oh, it looks like he has realized. He did wait this time. All right.
Oh, there we go. Good. All right, good job, Maisgueuh. So we have Osse decided, yes, I'm just going to do the X-ray check, and then I'm going to go ahead and, I'm not going to do the waterway, and I'm not going to do that mole portal. Let's go ahead and do the wreck ship that's turned on and check the boss and do the items here. So because
Osse opting to turn off high jump and speed, not going to spark across the ocean, likely in the interest of preserving health in the case that this is Ridley. That is near doable, I would say. But
it's a better idea. Ridley fight. I've had to do this before with like one less snake. It took me like 30 tries.
Not easy.
Yeah, so
he's just going to do top of wreck ship first, which I definitely don't disagree with. I think this is totally fine.
I think this makes a lot of sense.
Top first before the boss.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense because you're finding these two majors. The big thing is the boss is actually not a good check right now. It's really not a good check. So it's better to just do this.
Is pretty slow and obnoxious, and Ridley is in the super sketch range.
Maisgueuh following up. Yeah, so the check doesn't really make that much, because the problem is, like, okay, the Ridley fight is extremely sketchy, as you said. Like I've done this kind of Ridley fight before. I remember it took me like 30 tries, and then I wasted like 40 minutes. I remember this, right? So, I mean, I'm not saying I'm better than Osse, but that's not an easy fight by any means. And you probably absolutely need a save and stuff. So, but also the boss, it's, you might want to think like, oh, I'm gonna go check the boss first. The boss doesn't do that much for you. You're not getting that much out of the boss. So, like,
yeah, especially when you're
Dragon,
still on 0 suits, you likely want more than just whatever's behind Kraid.
Exactly.
In the hypothetical best case scenario.
Yeah. So, like, sure, if the boss is like, you know, Kraid, and then you get grab out of that, yeah, that's the plus for you. But realistically, like, there's a really good chance that it's Ridley or Dragon. You can't do anything, and you have to take a really slow fight, right? And then think about the times that you do wreck ship, you find Varia, you find Gravity. Gravity might let you do the Dragon fight completely fine. Otherwise, you'd have to do a suitless Dragon fight, which sucks. So it's actually, even though it sounds horrible, because these checks that Osse is doing is normally like quote unquote bad. It just goes to show how bad the actual boss check actually can be. So we'll see what happens with Maisgueuh here. Hopefully it's just Kraid, and that would be good for Maisgueuh. It's Dragon. No, it could be Kraid.
It is Dragon.
It's Dragon. Yeah.
Definitely
so
unfortunate.
Yeah, that's the problem there. So I'm guilty of being someone that often checks the boss first, and then I realize, oh, as I'm going down, I'm like, I shouldn't have done this. I should have actually done the checks first. But you don't have any suits right here, so you kind of need to go and do the things that are a little bit more dense. And you know, there's a good chance you get a good item here. So Osse getting that space jump, and we'll see what's at the top.
And unfortunately, Maisgueuh's save. Ooh, Varia. That is good.
It's very good.
That you can now kill all 4 bosses. Suitless Dragon is still obnoxious, but 100% doable.
Yep. You can basically do.
This is a technically go mode minus ammo, of course.
You can do everything.
Yeah.
You can do everything. You do not need. Yeah, Osse has high jump springball, so this is go mode.
I don't even know why I asked. Of course, Osse could UWJ. So
yeah. The UWJ is not even necessary.
Yeah, we do have Dragon here, so it's, you know.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see back of wreck ship go to back of East Meridia, and we might get a UWJ.
Well, oh yes, because this is Dragon right here.
Yes, because we know it's Dragon. Right?
It will be. This could be a UWJ seed. Yep. Shout outs to the UWJers. We've gotten. That's actually, I've never seen obscure tech spread so fast. We had Ace in the previous qualifier. I didn't even know that Ace learned how to do that, but everyone's just kind of doing it now. Everyone's busting out the UWJ, but yes,
not even cool anymore.
Yeah, it's not even cool anymore. We got, so this absolutely can be a situation where Osse's gonna have to do this fight. It's gonna have to either double springball jump or grab a spike suit to get out of this fight. And if it's the back of East Meridia, normally it's really, really, really bad to kind of traverse back to the front and then have to, you know, snail climb or whatever to get up there, and then having to do a suitless crystal flash. Because this is Dragon, if it's the back of East Meridia at the back of wreck ship, knowing how to do an underwater wall jump to get through Cack Alley is an incredible time saver.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. It could still be lower Norfair. Definitely a few options here still.
Yeah, but at this point, Osse's kind of good to go. Is mainly looking for ammo at this point.
Right, and the ammo is it's not looking great.
No.
For sure. But that definitely can happen. I don't know. I think might have to do some more out of the way checks. We'll see how this goes. This could be a sketchy ammo route. Usually, though, in seeds like this where you don't get all the supers early, it's just because they're in the later areas. You're just gonna get all your supers in East Meridia or Lower Norfair.
Now,
usually just works out, but
Nitros, something to be said here. If this actually were to lead to the back of East Meridia, would that not mean that Waterway has gravity. Are there any other majors that I'm thinking of that I haven't missed?
Well, now that we
Meme
have
route.
Varia, yeah, it could be a meme route leads to Lower Norfair. One way or
Okay.
another.
Actually, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that can
Yeah.
happen because now that we have the spring ball and high jump, you can also
Yeah, Mama Turtle is
yeah.
in logic as well,
Yes.
assuming it's reachable.
Yep.
Because right now our only West Meridia portal is Crab Hole, which is not in logic yet
Yes.
without Ice Beam. But assuming one of the portals does get us to any of the other West Meridia portals, then Mama Turtle would be in logic.
Mm-hmm. So Osse, nice double spring ball jump out. That is not easy tech. It's something that you got to learn, and the timing is extremely tight. But Osse does it cleanly. Osse is the kind of person that probably knows, literally has been like researching all the random obscure tech of this game for the last I don't know how long. So count on Osse to know all this random stuff. He's definitely going to this double spring ball jump out. Meanwhile, I wonder if Maisgueuh is going to go ahead and do that waterway check because Maisgueuh just got the speed booster.
I would not be shocked by that. I think that's a really good potential out for Maisgueuh here. Is
Exactly.
if he can spike that gravity at waterway.
Yep. If that's gravity, this is going to be pretty spicy because it looks like Osse is going to the right.
There, it looks like.
And is probably going to check this major. What Maisgueuh, I mean, Maisgueuh obviously doesn't know what's going on, but this Maisgueuh, if Maisgueuh knew what was going on, really does not want this to be gravity. If this is gravity, I think that's lights out for sure. Because Maisgueuh's going to go on a wild goose chase, and it's not going to be very good. That just means that Rekship has all the answers, so...
Looks like Maisgueuh not going to waterway.
Oh, not going to waterway, okay.
Which is...
Okay, just an E-tank. Maisgueuh's going to go check this portal.
Rekship E.
So, I do feel like if Maisgueuh's going this way, he should absolutely be checking the waterway check.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah, because...
Especially without Varia yet either.
Yeah, because, you know, you find Lower Norfair here.
It's usually just take you to Lower Norfair.
Yeah. So, I don't really know what's... I mean, I guess it could be like West Meridia, and then maybe we can try to check Mama Turtle or something. But, oh, Maisgueuh, I don't... Does Maisgueuh not have Spring Ball?
I don't recall which item.
Oh, that's not good. So East Meridia.
Does he not have? I'm not sure.
Yeah, the tracker says Maisgueuh does not have Spring Ball. So I don't remember exactly where that was.
That's right. It was Norfair Reserve, and he reset it.
Yes.
That's
okay.
Right. Yeah.
That's really it's not it's not very good. So I wonder where Maisgueuh is. Maisgueuh in a gauntlet here.
Yeah. Something you gotta be cautious of. We just saw, although it didn't end up actually being suitless, similar happened to Zost in the last race, where missing Spring Ball can have some pretty big implications. Spring Ball is one of those items you don't think a lot about it until it can be hard required.
Yeah.
In some cases.
Yeah, Spring Ball is something that you just really don't want to reset if you can't. Oh, okay. I thought it was the top of East Meridia for a second. So
there is Main Street. So Mama Turtle is in logic. We'll probably see Osse go there, if I had to guess.
Yep. Ooh, look at that giant line on the tracker. That's a big line. If anyone didn't know, the back of Rekship leads to the bottom left of West Meridia. But yeah, this is interesting. So I mean, once again, we still have waterway as an option. Yeah. So,
ooh, charge at gauntlet. That is not nothing. Actually,
that's big.
Yeah,
because I don't think Osse's getting
pretty good charge
that.
to find. Yeah, he's likely not going to get that.
That's good, and Osse's ammo is not good.
Find ammo, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big find. Okay, that's a good thing for Maisgueuh. If Gravity's at Green Bryn at Waterway and Maisgueuh does go there, ooh, Osse doing a double spring ball to get up here.
He could route this to the top of Green Bryn at this point, which
double
super at the back, just skipping, got wave plasma. Fair enough. I'd probably grab one just for at least.
I would probably grab both because it's probably fine. Oh, nice X-ray. Oh, that's good combo right there.
Although he has wave now.
Well, it doesn't matter anymore.
Well, he does still have to kill Dragon.
He does still have to kill Dragon. You're right. Okay. Yeah, I would grab those supers because like there's still a world where you might have to do suitless, like from Magoo's perspective, there might be a world where you have to do like the back of Ellen suitless or something.
Right.
So, you know, if you could just get like an extra crystal flash, that would be nice.
There's-
Okay, that's an E-tank for Osse.
So, okay, this is interesting. I think it's either meme route or waterway, right? I think because
Yeah.
you can't get to the top of West Meridia portals without grapple.
Isn't there some like obscure way to double springboard
Well,
jump to the top?
you can get there, but yeah, you can double springboard jump to either of them. Osse might do that, to be honest. I'm kind of curious to see if he will.
That would be pretty exciting.
Those are very not easy. Those two, the double springboard jumps to those two portals are very, very not
He's
easy.
going
Double
up.
springboard jumps.
He's going up. If there's anyone that knows obscure tech, it's gonna be Osse.
I'm excited, actually. I really hope he does this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I've actually done this before, and I remember I've done this because I saw Sloters do it before, actually. So
yeah.
I learned that it was realistic. So Osse can absolutely do this.
Yeah, I definitely do. Oh no, Osse can 100% do it.
Oh,
it's just,
Maisgueuh found the back of Ellen there.
okay.
That was meme route.
So that could be the logic. Which is very unfortunate for Maisgueuh to not have that Varia.
Did
Yeah,
Maisgueuh? Oh, did Maisgueuh reset the charge?
Actual gamer. I don't think so. I think he
No,
saved
okay.
in Parlor there. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so.
Yes, he has the X-ray. Yeah. Yeah, Osse just making it up there, making it look easy. I mean, honestly, it looks difficult even still. I know how it is. But Osse making it, having no trouble with it, as expected.
Yeah.
And the front of Ellen. That's good. So then Redfish will be the East Meridia portal.
All right, so I think I don't remember exactly where turning. Oh, a single chibler. So I think it's pretty straightforward for Osse at this point. Osse's going to do this, go out the back, get spat out at meme route, and then it's going to go ahead and check the moat portal. And that's gonna go ahead and he's gonna find East Meridia there, and then he's basically go mode. So from there, I don't know exactly how he routes it. I'm kind of looking at what Magoo's doing right now, but I think Osse has a kind of a straightforward game plan here, and probably knows what he's going to do.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll check GT for Grav. It looks like he will. Yeah, finding Grav here will definitely easy first Tri-Gate glitch, of course.
Yeah, I think it's the checks are kind of dwindling at this point. And Osse also still needs he doesn't have charge, so he kind of there's a lot of reasons why he wants to check this. There's kind of only good items left. Ice. Yeah, so like ice is another good one.
Yeah, even screw would be pretty dang good here.
Yeah, so I mean ice is nice because now he's not going to have to do the suitless crystal flash clip to get to Batoon if he chooses to go and he's likely going to find the front here. So
yeah, I do wonder if, you know, with all the knowledge, if it, assuming you find Grav here in Lone Warfare, it might actually be kind of decent to go back out the front and then into the back, but not having the back of Ellen and meme route, he'll definitely go out the back and end up going up meme route.
Charge was that gauntlet, so that's kind of like it's not the greatest check in Osse's situation.
I'm not. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. If the ammo stays pretty bad, he might consider it.
Yeah. What was the left portal of Criteria again? I don't remember that portal exactly.
The left portal.
The leftmost portal of Criteria. Past the Mushroom Kingdom.
That had to have been. What was that portal?
It had to lead somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it was though.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember.
Osse just hopping over that little Namihe. That's kind of funny. Or the Fune, I guess, technically.
Just an E-tank.
Okay, so I didn't quite see where Maisgueuh reset there. I'm kind of hoping that Maisgueuh just like checks water away and finds grab there, but because as of right now, it's kind of looking like things are really going poorly. This is one of those situations where like, man, everything I'm doing, it just like doesn't feel like it's working out, which is it's unfortunate when that kind of happens in rando. It makes you feel like really bad. It's just like, you know, in this case, we know that Osse is like very far ahead, but it's kind of important to sometimes like when you're playing rando and things are just not working out to like just realize that for a lot of other people it also doesn't work out, so you're not always necessarily losing or like devastatingly far behind. You know, we've had, you and I, Nitro, have had so many races where like, oh my gosh, everything's like going wrong, and then like, you know, we don't really do too bad in the end.
Yeah, it's easy to forget, like, everybody does play with the same seed, you know?
Yes.
So if things aren't going well for you, there's a pretty darn good chance things aren't going terribly for other people, you know, excluding some extraneous, you know, you can find some god route sometimes, but often when one person is in shambles, a lot of people are in shambles.
Exactly. That's probably the most common word that we use when we're playing. We're like, oh, I'm in shambles. We're all in shambles. But yeah, in this case, Maisgueuh is, because, you know, honestly, I would say that things haven't completely worked out for Osse, but the way that Osse has played this he's made it work, essentially.
Yeah.
He's had solutions for everything, and that's kind of the mark of like a really, really strong rando player. But here we go. This could all be stuff too. Oh, Osse missing the crit quick kill. All right, nice. And let's see what's behind Kraid, because it could still be a Kraid closet.
Oh man,
tank.
You know, Gravit Waterway is looking more and more likely.
I know, right? You know, Osse's kind of in a funny spot because of the options that I mean, what is it? Kraid Closet, Waterway?
Yeah, well, I think you still just go into East Meridia suitless, because it could still be grapple at either of those locations and then grab the Inbot rune.
You're right.
So you really should probably just go into East Meridia. But
you know, the thing is also, if you find like the back of East Meridia, I mean, Osse also has ice, right? But like, if you find the back of East Meridia, and you have the ability to UWJ, it's like you never go for grab at that point, because it's really never going to be faster. Because back of East Meridia is so quick with the UWJ through Cack Alley. So yeah, this is going to be
Oh, and that's right. And from Osse's perspective, it could still be grapple at Gauntlet as well.
Yes, exactly. So Osse's going to go ahead, go to the front, is going to ice clip through Latoon Hallway. Maisgueuh just finished up the Wreck Chip Chups. Is Maisgueuh going to... okay, is in Upper Norfair. Where does this take us? So where's Maisgueuh headed right now?
This is that Kuteria portal.
Okay. Maisgueuh is going to LN. Yes, okay. Okay, so yeah, it looks like Waterway is just nobody's ever gonna check Waterway, which is fine. Because in the end, like, you know, from our perspective, we're seeing everything.
And got grabbed 30 minutes ago.
It's easy for us to be like, oh yeah, we'll check Waterway. I think I might have checked Waterway too, but like it's like,
it could still be wrong.
You know. It can be wrong. That's the big thing, right? Like, how dumb do we look if we go check Waterway and then Osse just found gravity at Kraid, and then it's like, oh, you idiot! Why'd you?
You check Waterway, it's grab, and then you go into East Meridia mode. That's right there. And you don't find Varia, so it kind of sucks. And it's probably is it Ridley there? It is Ridley there. So you actually just get screwed. But it would look cool at least.
Exactly. Yeah. So the most important thing in high level rando is just understanding your percentages, right?
Yes.
You have to acknowledge that. Oh,
Ooh,
that's a nice
shambles,
power bomb for
shambles,
Osse.
shambles. Yeah.
One of the things that you need to understand if you want to really be good at rando is that, unlike a lot of games, that it's like you do A and A is the right decision and you get rewarded, right? That's games like that and other things in life like that are easy to get good at because you get positive feedback when you make the right decision. The problem when you start playing games like rando, games like poker, games that involve percentages, is you need to keep a level head and you need to find out ways, whether it's talking to really good players or it's to really like math things out, lab things out. You need to be able to keep a level head on knowing that when you do the right play, you sometimes don't get rewarded. Sometimes you get punished devastatingly. And so, you know, we're all here talking like, oh, Waterway is the good. And I think Waterway is a legitimate play. Osse is desperate for ammo right now.
Well, in the meantime, he did find 4 super packs in a row.
Yeah,
so
He's on a roll.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Another super
pack.
pack.
Richer. Look at that. 30 to 55, just like that.
But yeah, it's just really important to understand that you just have to know, like, I think this is the best play right now. And if sometimes you get nervous, you're like, man, what if grabs that Waterway? And then you get nervous and then you crack and you're like, you know, you go to Waterway at a situation where it's worse than had you done it before.
Yep.
You can't do that. You need to commit. Like I think the best play is to not do it. And if you're acknowledging like maybe it could be there and maybe it could be there, I'm too scared, I'm gonna go back, and it's like a worse time to do it, that's just gonna lose you more games in the long run. So you have to just like think about what the best play is and just like kind of commit to that, unless you realize like, oh wait, this is definitely not the best play. Like I made a mistake or something like that. But it's important to know to just commit to what you think is the best play, and then, you know, afterwards you can think about if it was right or wrong or not. But yeah, in this case, both players are run through and I mean, effectively trying to finish the game. So Maisgueuh, what is the boss over here? It's Kraid, right?
Kraid, right.
Yeah, so I wonder if Maisgueuh like does this and then maybe thinks about cleaning up some of the checks, like the Kraid closet after Fine Grav.
Yeah, how do you, let's see, how do you get back to Kraid's closet? It's not the closest thing. Well, you just have to run through Business Center. You could, but then you have to go all the way up Red Tower.
Who's ready for the snail climb?
Yeah.
I'm pumped.
See it?
You know, Osse could go up the toilet, right? It's probably not faster.
Could. It's. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's a lot slower. Okay. I would think at least. Oh no! Shambles.
Oh, Osse, come on! This is like a map random. This is a map random staple. I can't believe he messed that up. Okay. You know, that's what Osse gets for making us. Remember that one map random scene we played, and then we all got stuck here for like 30 minutes. That's what Osse gets.
Stuck here.
Oh yeah, you and I got out here first.
Yeah,
it was Cutie and Beef Robber. They were just this snail like griefed them for like 30 minutes. Okay, but using the spring ball tech to get up here, you just hold jump. It's the easiest way to get up there.
Yeah, it is the easiest. Way easier than it looks, I would suppose. You pretty much just hold jump once you get the right setup.
Mm-hmm. And with ice, this clip is going to be pretty trivial. All right. So Osse,
yeah, that's the as Cutie mentioned, that is the other reason you really just want to go through Batoon, is because gravity can just be here. In which case, the second half of Beast Mode is significantly faster.
I keep forgetting about the Batoon eating item, honestly.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. It does not come up often, especially in these speedrun seeds, but definitely can still happen.
Mm-hmm. That's a fun one. All right, let's see it. Let's see the grab right here. That's a spicy grab. Here we go. Okay, I don't want it to. I want it to be a Waterway.
No, oh! Here all along.
That's a spicy one. Yeah,
so that should mean that Waterway or Kraid's Closet are the grapple beam. To put that in logic, not necessarily actually. No, you don't need grapple actually, because Aqueduct was just moat.
Yeah, go ahead and find the grapple. Go to Shack Till just for like an eating. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
those could
a good
be
one.
anything. Yeah, grapple
Yep.
not required.
Yep. So once again, that's one of those things where Nitro, you and I would have gotten punished.
Probably, yeah, for sure.
Yep. We go to Waterway. We get
I
the
probably would have
grapple.
gone to Waterway at some point for sure.
Yep. So
I don't know
you
if
and
I would
I,
have done it the earliest.
all we did was lose time to Osse here.
Yeah.
We're such suckers.
I just think Waterway's neat. I just like it. I don't know.
Yeah, I like doing checks because they're fun. As evidenced by my first qualifier, I just kind of checked everything for no reason. Somehow worked out. All right, so Osse 45 55, kind of like the gold standard that people use for mother brain ammo. 40-60 is like basically just enough, but really not that comfortable. You'd have to basically break the first door, and then you have like one missile of ammo, if that makes sense. So you'd have to break two doors. You'd have to break the I door, and you'd have to break the
bombs.
The first door, and that'll get you to one missile of leeway on the mother brain fight, which is not really that great. So Osse's ammo as of right now, with my handy dandy Turian mother brain ammo calculator, you can find that on the SGLIVE Discord and the rando thing. As of right now, if Osse broke, okay, well now with 50 missiles, as of right now, if Osse wants to beat Mother Brain, we'll have to literally go all the way to Mother Brain, break the glass, and then go back out and refill.
Yeah, you really do not want to do that. It's like
that's not worth it.
Multi-minute process. It's pretty terrible.
It's way better to just get some extra ammo. So if I'm in Osse's shoes, I'd probably want to find like 2 more missile packs at least.
Yeah.
And then I'd feel relatively comfortable.
Is very comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple more missile packs. It'll be A-okay.
Mm-hmm.
The question is there any more good miners on his path? He does have, so this is going to be, if he's going to the back, which I guess he is, he's going to be Redfish, and he does have gravity now, so the West Meridian miners are definitely a lot more accessible now. So we'll probably see Crab Supers and probably Main Street maybe. I don't know. Well, he's already got Mama Turtle, so I mean, I guess that's really the best he's got. Unless you, in this situation where you really only need 1 or 2 more ammo packs, you are probably okay to just bet on Crab Supers in Main Street and not go all the way to Watering Hole.
Yep. So turn a single chamber, right?
Yes.
I have definitely not been keeping track of the route to the back.
Pretty much all the miners in Upper North Route. Let's see where the route takes him.
Yeah.
So you come out Chronic. This is actually a really good route. You come out Chronic Boost and just go straight to single chamber. So really, this is all the miners you have left. Is West Meridian.
Okay. Yeah, so that makes sense. I haven't been checking the route to the back. I haven't been figuring that out, but there is something to be said. The back route must be much faster because oftentimes if you need some miners, you want to check the front of East Meridia because Aqueduct is really, really quick for 2 miner checks. Yeah. But this route must be significantly faster. So, super pack. So there you go. So Osse is
he might have even really seen that on the way up, which I hadn't thought about.
Yes.
When he went up Fish Tank though, didn't he? So probably
yes. So I don't think Osse saw that. So with this, if Osse just has full ammo going out and doesn't refill, he's got 5 missiles of leeway on the Mother Brain fight, so he can miss up to 5 missiles or some combination of 1 super and 2 missiles, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Now he's so this is just extra safety, extra cushion.
It's okay. I wouldn't be surprised if Osse is feeling really good about his position after seeing that gravity about Toon.
Exactly.
That pretty much eliminates the possibility of, the situation where your opponent could spike gravity at one of those less good places that you didn't go to.
Exactly. If you don't see gravity there, then you're like, oh crap, I might be in the really, really bad spot because maybe it was a waterway. My opponent found it.
Right.
And I need to just go and hope that my, on execution, I might have made up enough time to offset something like that. But I think Osse knowing, as you said, finding the grav there and knowing that he got to skip waterway, Crade's Closet, some of those really not very good checks. I think he's feeling pretty darn good because, in a sense, he found that in a good time. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It
Osse
was just
taking
like a slower seed overall, so it's pretty hard to do it significantly better than that.
Mhm. So if anyone is curious about how the logic works in these modes, the way we have the speedrun preset, and the speedrun preset is essentially like truly random. So whereas some of the other modes, slow, slowest, fast, fastest, or whatnot, the way it kind of works is I think it chooses like it's going to choose like between like one of the few modes, and then it decides to like put some of the items in like bad locations, I think.
Yeah,
I
it'll
think
like
that's
sort
kind of
of
how it
place
works.
the items in a sequence,
Yes.
in a way. Whereas in speedrun, it just like places all the items at random, and then
Yep.
it'll say like, okay, is the seed completable? If yes, run it.
Yep.
That's it. And then if not,
Exactly.
try again.
Exactly. So speedrun is like truly random in the sense that it literally RNG places everything, and then if the seed is like, does this seed work? Okay, all right, here's the seed. Otherwise, it might just rerun it like 1,000 times until it gets something valid. So there's no like kind of like solving anything with the seed or like figuring something out. It's literally just like I gotta play percentages. There's been some talk about some other modes where it's like, oh, can we sniff out that it's like a slow seed or something like that, right? By doing some very obscure logic breaking, and then maybe we can like kind of cheat a slower seed. But in this case, it's very random.
Yeah, I think that's actually like really good competitively too, because like
Yes.
in this seed it did end up being the Gravibot wound, but so like in a typical like tournament setting where you have all the progression speeds and logic, when you get a seed like this, at some point you're almost expecting it to be there.
Yeah.
And like you can hedge your bets on that. While in this mode, like in my opinion, it was honestly equally likely for Gravity to be at any of the spots it could have been.
Yep.
At Botwoon, Waterway, or Craig's Closet, because like the seed didn't have to be slow. Like it can look slow, but it could have still just been Gravity was available the whole time. Like it doesn't have to be that way, even though it looks like it a lot, just because of how that progression speed is.
Yep. Was Osse trying to go for Springball Baby Skip?
It looked like it.
I like it. All right, Maisgueuh is heading over and checking, going over and checking X-ray. Unfortunately for us, we know that its gravity is one of the worst spots that it could be in. So,
and also very unfortunately, Maisgueuh has abandoned the spring ball.
Yes.
In Upper Norther.
I think Maisgueuh checked this a while ago. I could be wrong, but I thought I saw Maisgueuh check this. Maybe not.
I'm not sure about that. Maybe.
All right, so let's see if Osse's feeling really good. I think he'd take a save here, but okay, he's not feeling that good. He's got plenty of leeway on the missiles. He'd have to literally chuck like 3 supers into the wall by accident. Crazier things have happened, so it's possible, but Osse's definitely in a good spot here. Plenty of leeway.
Yep.
But no charge.
Yeah, 11. He's got 15 missiles leeway.
So Osse, Osse might win this one, but did he get charged? No. So, moral victory for Maisgueuh there. Charges a cool beam.
Very true. Full beam combo is sick.
Full beam combo is sick. I don't know if Maisgueuh's going to finish this lead out, but I mean, like, why shoot a bunch of supers into Mother Brain when you can just do 20 full beam combo shots? It's so much better. Oh man, I was really hoping for the waterway. Yeah. So what's this gonna be? Grapple? E-tank?
Could be anything. It's just E-tank. Yeah, because the Aqueduct was moat, the grapple ended up not being necessary.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say no stand up for Osse, but he does not have charge. Look at that. Another reason why charge is nice. You can do stand up, save time on Mother Brain 3.
Does save time.
Mm-hmm. You know, I never realized how loud that Mother Brain like screaming sound is until we started racing together. You know, oftentimes, you know, you and I, Nitro, and a bunch of us will just be in like a voice call while race, and then everyone has to mute their mic or like not talk when that loud piercing noise happens because it immediately comes through the mic, and it's just the pitch of it. It just comes through the mic like so much. So you know, we'll just be like, so how everyone's doing, and then you hear
everything else.
It's like, oh well, okay, he's that Mother Brain. That's always the funniest thing. So I always just like make sure I'm like not talking so that my mic is like off basically when I do this part. I always thought that was kind of funny. It also makes my dog realize that I'm almost done. So she always runs over to me, I think, when she hears that noise as well.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty funny. All right, Baby Metroid dead. Osse is going to finish his Mother Brain 3 fight and have a nice escape, and then that will be the game.
So, well, I would say it's a pretty good time for a seed like this. Like 109, or you know, a high 109, low sub 110. Like, it's not bad for a seed with all that, you know, required suitless and the runaround. I mean, you basically checked everything in the game besides a few things.
Oh, Maisgueuh doing some spicy stuff right here. I love it.
Nice.
You know, Osse was actually practicing the suitless with like just before like he started. He was doing this like suitless tech up here. I don't think you could wall jump up there and make the thing up. You have to get the crab to follow you up a little bit.
You can like wall jump and like wait for a crab to come to you, freeze it below you. It's kind of sketchy though.
Yeah, with this victory, Osse is going to be playing the winner of Derp versus Tony, which is still pending. And Maisgueuh is going to be going down to the lower bracket.
Yeah, Derp or Tony, both two very solid opponents.
Yep. And
then again, so is just about everybody in this tournament.
Oh yeah, you can't count anyone out in a tournament like this.
Nobody has an easy bracket this time around.
I would say if there was like a seed that Osse wanted, it was probably something like this. This is I feel like some people, seeds favor certain people in certain ways, and this is definitely like it's kind of an Osse seed, I'd say. A grab at East Meridian, I think it kind of would probably place towards a lot of his strengths, but GG. Osse coming in first place with an official race time of 109.04. So get your GGs in chat for Osse. Very well played. All right, so Maisgueuh looking around, must have seen at this point the results here, so getting a little bit confused. I was wondering if Maisgueuh was like getting a little confused there, but it looks like was just waiting for that crab to climb because Maisgueuh once again doesn't have spring ball, unfortunately. Back at the Norfolk Reserve.
Yeah, it does have the ice, so this is at least finishable without spring ball.
Mm-hmm. Nitro? I want to see a UWJ here.
Yes.
Right here. Instead of freezing this guy. Aww.
That's sad.
Sad. That's a prime little candidate for a UWJ spot. Doesn't really save that much time if you have ice, but...
I don't blame anybody for not knowing that one. Maisgueuh did see Osse finish, said, man, I'm so far from go mode. So I wonder if I can go ahead and get... I wonder if we can actually just get Osse in this call. I'd like to hear his thoughts on the seed.
Oh, sure thing, Eddie.
Oh, how'd you get in here? You just snuck
Bots
in.
doing bot things.
Ah, okay. All right. I guess they send out things. So Osse, congrats on your victory here. This was definitely a little bit of a tough seed. How you feeling? How you feeling? Any thoughts on the seed in general?
I don't know what to think of the seed. It was all over the place. Felt like the way I played through it, I didn't really like stop and waste a bunch of time anywhere. And, like kept running from region to region, and
Yep.
that's usually a good sign. But I was checking everything and not getting the suits or charge beam. So who knows? Where was the charge beam?
That was at Gauntlet.
Gauntlet. Yeah, so could have got that at any point.
Mm-hmm.
Not have to ammo hunt. At the very end, my ammo routing was a bit scary.
Mm-hmm.
I magically ran to that one super pack that put me at enough.
Mm-hmm. So something I was wondering, I feel like there was like one moment where I think you had to stop and think for a little bit. And I think Nitro was pretty confident saying, I think we liked your decision that you made, but it looks like that one moment that you maybe stopped for like 3 seconds was when you found the bottom of Green Bryn. I assume you were kind of thinking about going to check the criteria portal as opposed to going directly to Wreck Ship. Can you talk us through maybe what you were kind of thinking at that moment?
I'm not sure which moment you're talking about.
I think there was a moment after you did Croc. It was earlier in the game where you found Croc. You did the speed, and then
Yeah, I did.
I think you
Croc,
had the
get
choice
speed
to
and
do.
tank.
You
That was
did
cool.
X-ray right after, but you sat at the bottom of Green Bryn for like a few seconds to think about what you're gonna do next. In the end, you chose to do X-ray, and then you went into the front of Wreck Ship. I think the other option was to do Waterway and then check the moat portal for criteria, which you hadn't done at that point. So I was wondering
Right.
if you were kind of weighing the decisions and what maybe made you stray one way or the other.
No, right after I found Fantoon at Great Slayer,
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to route down Red Tower and
Yes.
go into Wreck Trip at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was deciding if I wanted to change the plan when I ran into whatever it was. And actually, it would have been a time to check Waterway. I never ended up getting back to that. Yeah, it was either go to Wreck Ship or go back to the right side of Criteria for the portal.
Yep. Yeah, Nitro was saying because at that point I think we had found all the dead ends. I think it just and you have the way to get to the back of Wreck Ship. It probably makes sense to just go check the boss and then go straight to the Wreck Ship as opposed to doing the other things. Whereas if you didn't have all the dead ends, it's probably a lot more incentivized to check that isolated portal.
It was also 5 items
in
Wreck Ship.
Yes.
I was almost thinking about skipping wherever I was, just something or other to head right to Wreck Ship, just because so many items.
Yep. How did you feel about the grab at Batoon? Did it make you feel good?
I was wondering if I should have like tried to skip gravity earlier. I was with Dragon dead, and I had the high jump, space jump. I didn't even need ice. But I didn't have charge or ammo for so long.
Yeah. Nitro and I were wondering if you were prepared to do a UWJ if you found the back of East Meridia after killing Dragon at the behind Wreck Ship.
So I didn't want to, but I'm practiced for it. I could have done that.
You're ready to do that potentially? Like, that's got to be the best play if you find a Cack Alley there, right? Or you find the back of East Meridia there after Wreck Ship.
Yeah. Like, I was always worried about running into Ridley too, and especially at that point. That was after Dragon.
Yeah, it was Dragon right at.
Yeah, so I had bad ammo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, always worried about Ridley.
Were there any points of the seed that you're kind of feeling like nervous, or maybe you're like, oh, this is not really going the way I want to. I wonder what's going on with my opponent, kind of thing, or did you kind of feel like in control in the seed?
I don't think I ran into any particular problem. It's mostly I just don't want to finish like at an hour 10.
Yes.
I feel like that's above the average time that I want to beat one of these seeds.
Something we're also wondering at the beginning of the seed. So you ran across the top over Norfair. You ran across Business Center, and then you checked the red tower portals, and then you went up, and then you did Croc. What was kind of like your thought process with doing that, as opposed to maybe like doing the top of Business Center there, and then maybe doing Croc? Or did you have any thoughts about maybe taking that a different way? I feel like usually the way that we generally approach it is we usually do like the Business Center checks, and then we go about our day afterwards. But I was wondering what made you decide to maybe skip Business Center in that spot?
Yeah, that seemed like an interesting way that I played it. I feel like it worked out as far as if I wanted to full clear Upper Norfair for items. Getting speed and even the E-Tank was pretty good for that. I figured that either way I could find portals back to the zone. Like there's more portals to Red Tower and there's more portals to Upper Norfair. So those are things I could have done later. So I just picked to do the Red Tower checks.
Yes.
And then since Upper Norfair became more efficient, I went back.
So I feel like a lot of us are wondering this, Osse, but how much of this have you kind of been practicing at all? Because I know obviously you've been very busy with your map rando stuff, but you know everyone's always afraid of you. We're just kind of hoping that you don't get enough practice in this post. You're not as comfortable in the later stages of the brackets. That's what I've heard from a lot of the other strong players. How kind of like comfortable are you with this mode right now?
Yeah, at this point I'm not that practiced. I haven't played. I played like one practice seed. So like even running left from the ship just feels uncomfortable. It's the weirdest thing.
Just running left at the ship. You go in map road, or you go right or something?
Sometimes.
Wait, what?
You go left and then it's parlor. It's not randomized.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
I don't know. It feels off. I still feel like I look at the map a lot more than I used to. So now things on the map stand out.
Yeah. You know, I think something they recently added is they actually have like the full map there. I know that throws some players off because they're not used to seeing like all the extra things, but yeah, it's map rando. That's a fun one. When is our next when is our first official big map rando tournament going to be? Any ideas on that one?
I forget what it was. I'm not sure. Get back to you.
Were you opposed to someone starting up a map rando tournament? I know there's a lot of people that are interested.
Oh, not at all. Go ahead. Let me know. I'd appreciate that.
Nitro and I were talking about how one of the first map randos we played together, we didn't have too much problem with it. But when you messed up the snail clip, when you clipped it at first, we said this was justice for making all of us suffer, because we had some map randos where we had to snail climb with 0 E-tanks at the very beginning. And we felt justified when you messed up the first snail climb up there.
Snail just didn't stop for me.
Yeah, he just went up to the top. But yeah, we had I remember specifically Cutie and Beef Robber were trying to get up there, and the snail I think crushed them for like an hour, and everyone was just like crying in misery. It was a good time. So map rando does to you when you play an expert.
Yeah, it's true. Like I've gone through that process. Like you do it enough times in seeds, and you just get better. It's like a different experience than just practicing the trick.
Yep. All right. So unfortunately, just the Batoon, Grava Batoon is always a rough one. In your case, Osse, given your experience and your ways to kind of get through it, it worked for you, but this always sucks. It's kind of a killer for a lot of people, and it is in this situation. I think didn't really work out for Maisgueuh, but I think because we have another match scheduled at this point, we're probably gonna have to end this a little bit earlier. Osse, do you have any kind of like final words that you want to tell us? Any things you want to shout out? You have a match against the winner versus Tony and Derp in the next round. And everyone in this tournament is so good. I feel like the level of play at Rando has gone up a lot recently. But any last words that you want to say?
Just big thanks to Eddie Nitro for doing comms for this race, as well as Like Soup for taking care of tracking and helping getting this restreamed. Thanks a lot.
Nitro, anything you want to throw some last words in before I think we have to end this episode?
Not much. GG's to Osse. Congrats on the win. And GG's to Maisgueuh as well. Valiant effort on continuing the seed. And, gonna finish it up. And, yeah. Good luck on the rest of the tournament.
All right. Oh, so you heard it here. I will be staying on comms for the next match. But, Osse, thank you for joining. Maisgueuh, good effort. This was a very, very tough seed. It's an unfortunate one. But Nitro, thanks for joining me on comms. But we are going to be moving on to our next match. And that's going to be... check real quick. It is going to be Glove versus Kupo. So don't change that channel. Stay right here on Twitch. But thanks, everyone. We will see you next mission.